Thought it was the Foal alert again. It's been happening so often. Hello.
Hey, we're trying to film a podcast right quick.
Welcome back to Catching Up With Katie. We're all very tired. I don't know what time or day it is most of the time. We've had 3 foals this week. We had one the previous week as well. And we have been on foal watch for the entirety of existence, it feels like. So, you know, it is what it is. We've been meaning to do a catch up about foaling season at this point, but we skipped last week due to how much was happening that we could not come in here and sit down and film. And so we're a little bit behind. We're 2 weeks behind. So we have not spoken
about
foaling season.
Yeah.
And so we have a lot of questions for you, Lindsay, because this is Lindsay's first foaling season, and she has now seen a variety of foalings. She has now seen a super quick, like pretty easy one.
Yeah.
She has seen one that was like, oh, baby's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Then she saw one that was like, okay, kind of traumatic birth, but easy after.
Yeah.
And then you saw, I mean, honestly, a couple traumatic births and then easy after.
Yeah.
So you've seen like easy everything, kind of traumatic, half traumatic, whatever, kind of hard everything.
Yeah.
Like you've seen an array of things. Now, that's not anywhere near all the things that they can throw at us.
I can imagine.
But yeah, I did put a little thing on Facebook just asking, you know, what they want to know. What do the people want to know about your first foaling season? Now, Nate, this is your 4th foaling season.
4th foaling season, yeah.
Now, you didn't see any of the foalings on that first one, but this is your 4th foaling season. So do you have any takeaways from this season versus prior ones?
I guess it's been a little more, I don't know if it's more unpredictable this one has been.
Because they're all going overdue.
They're all going over. And that is something that's distinctly different from, you know, before it was like late 320s, maybe early 330s.
Yeah, maybe like one a year went to their due date.
Yeah. And now they're all like 340, 344, 42,
355. Or 51, whatever it was.
But like they're all going over. And so that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and then we've never had this many foals in 1 week. We've had 2 in a week.
Not back-to-back nights, though.
We've had, I think there was a couple times last year in January and February where there was like 2 or 3 days in between.
Yeah.
2 of them. And that seemed close.
Yeah, was somewhat manageable.
Yeah. This week, we had one born, I don't even know what days.
I don't either.
It was like Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah.
Wednesday morning.
No, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Monday, Tuesday, Thursday.
Tuesday,
Tuesday threw everything for a loop.
Yes.
I mean, you talk about, will your system, is it stress tested? Will it crumble? Monday, Tuesday was the stress test.
Yeah.
So can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Like the behind the scenes part of that we didn't even think would happen?
Yeah.
You're better at explaining this part than I. Like you know more.
We have so many hard drives. We have probably, you know, anywhere from 6 to 8 terabytes of hard drives just ready to go. Okay, well, we're filming videos like normal. We tend to not, I tend to play on the safe side of, okay, well, let's double back everything up and then don't delete anything until after it's posted. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, we're double backing everything up. So every video you film takes up twice the amount of space as just filming it. So we're double backing up regular videos, taking up that 6 to 8 terabytes of space. And then you have a birth. You're like, okay, the birth by itself is going to take up 2 terabytes. Mm-hmm. And then the next night you have a long birth.
Yeah, that one was like 4.5 hours.
Yeah, it was very long. And so that one by itself is taking up like 3 terabytes of hard drive space. And now we ran into a position to where we're like, okay, we have like 8 terabytes of footage. Every hard drive that we have is full. and the cards that we're filming with are full. We can't film another thing. And so we're like, okay, well, let's go buy some hard drives. Apparently there's a huge shortage, and we found like one Best Buy an hour from here who had one hard drive. We bought the last one in the store. So like trying to scramble to find new places to store footage was chaos. Mm-hmm. And then I think now we're back in safe territory.
Well, that's the other thing. So we have a really big storage here that is where we could have been like offloading things onto.
Yeah.
But how long was it taking you?
Oh, see, but that's the thing. It's like it's a ton of space, but it transfers slowly. Mm-hmm. So, if you were going to transfer, let's just put the 8 terabytes on the drive. That may take 3 days to transfer it. Well, what do we got to film tomorrow?
Yeah.
Like what if another horse is born?
Right. And we're trying to not just do the births, but we were trying to do like Moose's first time going out. And we were trying to do Catching Up With Katie. We had the vet come out for the goats, and for, we were like, there was other things going on.
Yeah. So, we had to go home, find
crisis,
extra random hard drives, and, figure out how to clear some of those off. And we were scrambling.
This has been one of the most chaotic weeks of my life, I think.
Yeah. It's been crazy, sleep wise.
Because it's not just like, sure, it would have been chaotic anyway if I was just like let's say social media wasn't my job and I foal out this many mares. It would have been chaotic anyway, having multiple babies, and especially, one of them needing like leg wraps and, things like that.
Yeah. And
on top of it, like with my job being the content surrounding it, not only your crisis happening, which is then my crisis because we're trying to problem solve and make it work because it's our business. I'm also having to, like, someone counted, and those 2 days of, like, the one baby was born like at 10 o'clock and then the other one was at 3 a.m. That one day of babies being born, I posted 48 videos on like TikTok. And then it also got because it was between my regular content and subscriber content. I posted 48 videos.
That's
in that one day.
Crazy.
That one like 30-hour period.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That's
so, and then we're doing Snapchat, and we're like, so it's just been chaos.
Yeah. Feels like every what I can't. My brain's not even working. Every stick's in every fire.
Yes.
That's not the phrase, but.
And then it's like, I mean, and I didn't even make videos about this. I think I put it on Snapchat. It's like, oh, well, we have this cow that's sick. I got to make this cow vet. Like, other things don't stop because we're
foaling.
Yeah, all the craziness is in addition to normal.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, that's been what's happening the past few days. We'll get into like we still got to post the birth videos. Y'all are going to see those after this, so we don't want to give away too much. But I'm going to ask you some questions because this is your first. And I'm not going to lie, I've not looked at these until now. Okay, the first one was, have you learned any self-preservation skills?
Yes, Katie found out today. We were in the field. Elena and I were in the field with the yearlings, and at first they were really far away. So I called Katie and I was like, hey girl, is it okay if we go in the pasture? Or like, do you want me to stay out? Because like I have no self-preservation. And she was like,
you didn't even say no. You're like, is it okay if we go in? I was like, self-preservation. That's
like
all I said.
I didn't even say that. She was like, self-preservation. And I was like, okay, cool. We just can't see them over the hill. So we went in. They weren't moving. They were still far away from us. Eventually they finally come over. And then like I told Elena the very first thing, I was like, one of the main things is like if they start to crowd around you, get out of the situation. If they put you in between two of them, get out of the situation. So I'm slowly learning.
It was I'm like looking back at the situation through your eyes. I'm like, I sent you in there to teach someone self-preservation.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta
questionable on my part.
Sometimes you learn best by teaching.
We were safe. I made sure to kind of, if they started coming for me, push them to the side. And
have you been in a stressful situation like this one before? And if you haven't, how have you been coping with lack of sleep and these stressful situations? I mean, last night was stressful, like obviously. So how have you been coping with it, do you think?
Definitely, this week has been a little harder than most. The first round of Foal Watch, I'm still excited. I'm still very excited for foaling season. The first round of Foal Watch, I was like amped up. I was ready, prepared.
We were playing a lot more D&D.
Yeah. We were having, not that we're not having fun now, but like we were having a lot of fun.
Well, we had Crisis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was, what was the question? What was,
like how are you coping?
How am I coping with it? It's definitely taken a toll like on my mental health a little bit. I'm working on it. I'm relaxing and talking myself down, and my mom's keeping me sane and whatever. But I sleep on my lunch break. Like I handle coping with stressful things with sleep, unfortunately.
So, like last night, we had a rough birth. Y'all will see that with Coco. We had to have the vet out. Like it was definitely scary. So are you good now after everything's been all said and done? Or did that kind of bring to light how quickly things can go
It definitely,
wrong?
It kind of like put something off in my head. Like, oh, this can go south very quickly. Like you saw, I don't know if y'all saw Katie's video, but she basically said she like called me as I got out of the shower.
Yeah.
And I like ran in a tank top.
She had a towel on her head.
No shoes on. And I was like, what can I do? And so I was like, I was ready, but I was like still tired. I was stressed. I was like, I kind of paused for a second and like kind of freaked out. And I was like, what do I do? And then Katie was like, take my phone. And then that's when I was like, okay, I need to get my stuff together, calm down, and be here. And
well, because you kind of had to be like call girl to like
call Rachel and whatnot, but
not a call girl, not
yeah.
You know what I meant?
No. But it was definitely it reminded me how quickly things can go south, comparing it to like the ones that went pretty well.
But it's funny, you've seen now
like
all these things, so many in one, week essentially. Yeah. Okay, so we're tired.
Sleep.
She slept. You got a good sleep last night.
Yes, I did.
You got good sleep last night. We're going into the weekend. You're gonna get like one of them's like, is she traumatized yet? You're not. Okay, good.
So I will say, some people did catch what I said.
You'll get there.
Some people did catch what I said in the video whenever you were like, it's okay.
Yeah.
I literally said, if this were to happen right now, I wouldn't be able to handle it, simply because of everything that's been going on just with my personal life. But it was a little traumatizing in that moment, because I was like, it kind of set in that like something could go very wrong very quickly, and it was. And then I was like, I need to call. We need someone.
Right. Yeah, and
it was a little traumatizing.
Love my vet. Love Dr. Matthew. He was not in a hurry enough for me. I was in that moment. But anyway, okay, let me take a second. What's been your biggest foaling season ick? What's grossed you out?
Okay. There was one thing that icked me out, and I don't remember what it was.
The hippo mane?
No. I don't like the placentas falling out. And then, so Ricky's came out all together.
Yeah.
And eventually baby pulled it off, but like, watching it slide out, and then it was still connected. I was like, okay.
That was interesting. That doesn't happen very often.
No.
I know it's normal for babies to be connected after birth, but like,
honestly, I mean, humans, I guess, have a lot of intervention, so it's a little different. But like, I don't think I've seen a placenta come out attached to baby that I can really think of. Now, luckily, she wiggled around and pulled it off, but
yeah. That was. I don't like the placentas. They just, especially when Dr. Matthew was like pulling it apart, I was like, what? He's like,
just when he's checking
horn.
it out,
he's like, this is the horn and this is that, and I'm like, all of that.
So when I was like, because I remember with Indy, because Indy, her baby was so big, so her placenta is gigantic.
Yeah.
And while she was laying there, I was like, okay, I'm going to tie it up. And I was like this deep in the placenta for a second.
Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah. That was watching you. I had to look away when you tied Coco's.
Why?
Because it's just like,
I don't
know why it bothers me so much, but it's just like.
By the way, I get asked, what are you doing? Why are you tying that in a knot? So one, they step on it. Like it gets long and they step on it. And when they step on it, they could either A, pull it when they shouldn't, because you don't want it pulled out. You want it to naturally come out. But then also if they tear it and then there's no longer as much weight on it pulling it out, they can retain it. Yeah. So we tie it in a knot if we can. And generally if the mom's still laying down, I'll do it, because if you wait too long and they get spicy or they're hurting, it's hard to kind of get back there and tie it and do it. So I do it as soon as I possibly can. And so I tie a knot. It adds weight, keeps them from stepping on it. I tie towels in them sometimes. Like with Raven, she tore hers.
Yeah, that's right.
And so I tied a towel in it just to
add some,
give it a little weight. So the worst thing ever is when everything goes perfect and then you have to sit there and wait on that placenta. That is the worst.
Yeah, I think that might be the...
Because that can be trouble in and of itself.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And so like there's been times in the past couple years, I think Daphne was the last time I think I had a retained placenta, and the vet had to come flush her multiple times, and like Trudy having Daphne.
Ah,
got you. Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's wild.
Well, that's your ick. What's your ick, Nate?
Because
you're grossed out by like human blood.
It has nothing to do with grossness.
What's your ick?
I mean, honesty hour. Here it comes. My ick's an early bedtime.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, that's very pointed.
This is very targeted.
No. Because everybody individually has decided to go to bed early at some point, which is fine. Get your sleep. But it's usually it just always seems to happen around the same time that I'm trying to make a plan to play a game or something.
I don't want to go to bed early, but there's been a lot of...
Right. Which I feel like
that's been happening a lot.
I've been a little more quiet and gracious this week because it's been a crazy week. But just in general, I want to play a game.
Yeah. My apologies.
We got to do another live D&D. People are asking.
We need to. And you know what? We're primed where we are right now.
Absolutely.
Honestly, we could catch them up as to where we're at in the storyline.
Yeah.
And do it.
So I guess my ick is people who don't want to play games with me, I guess.
Okay.
Or who are really exhausted.
Go a step past that. What's like your actual foaling ick? Do you have one?
My actual foaling ick would probably be...
I don't have one. I love it all.
I know, you just...
I don't...
I thrive in the chaos.
I really don't know if I have one. Which I don't have to get,
juicy.
Yeah. Like I have to look at it. I have to film it.
You just don't want to be in
it. All my other senses are in it other than touch.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the ickiest of the senses.
Yeah. So I don't know if I really have an ick.
I know, because I was like, oh my gosh, all of us are so filthy, we can't eat our food. And they were like, that's just you, homie. You're the only one that's...
Oh, okay. That would be my ick. My ick is eating food.
Around it.
While we're doing it.
Well, also the cat was like laying her mole that she had caught on everyone's food boxes.
My ick. Yep. When we order food when we're down there, and I'm like...
We didn't order it when we were down there, though.
Right. But I probably need to go eat in my car.
Yeah.
So with Ravens, we were like, hey, we'll order, I think it's going to happen tonight. Let's order a nice dinner. We'll all eat in and then we'll be ready. And our food was pulling in behind us. So like we were going out of the driveway.
Passed them in the driveway.
We passed them. We were going down the other driveway to the barn and we see them pull in with our food.
I cracked my window and tried to smell it. Just to get one last whiff before
it got cold.
Yeah.
And then Jonathan was being... No, he fed me one and then was like, no. And I'm like...
You're like, you married me for better or for worse. And I'm in my worst
I'm sitting here providing for our family. What
alone for us
has been the biggest surprise? I mean, we tried to like, I guess, tell you a lot about it beforehand and try to prepare you. But like, I mean, we can't do it. We can't tell you everything. Some things just happen. So what's been something that you've been like shocked by?
Shocked. Let me think about all the births. Okay, so we had Raven and Moose. That was the first one. That was pretty short. That was pretty quick, right?
It was pretty quick.
Okay.
Indy's was the one that was long.
Long.
Ricky's was pretty short.
Pretty short. And then
Coco's was traumatic.
I already forgot the question.
What was the big shock?
Big shock. Okay. Honestly, so whenever I got hired and they were talking about foaling season and kind of preparing me for like what to expect, they brought up foal alerts.
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, I didn't know what that was. I found out on the Catching Up With Katie, whatever. And so watching it get put in was honestly a surprise because I did not know that existed.
Mm-hmm.
That was one thing that surprised me because, like, that's a genius invention. I mean,
also, you just don't think about things being sewn in, you know? Like,
yeah,
I mean, it's
not
just
at
2
all.
stitches, but
Yeah.
still, it's a little jarring at first.
Yeah, that was a little shocking. And then I think Coco's baby shocked me the most.
Yeah.
It was a little shocking just having everything happen so quickly and then you being like, I need help. And I'm like, okay, what do I do?
Oh, yeah. In that moment,
There was nothing.
I mean, and 2, it was not helpful that she's a mini.
Yeah.
And that everything is tighter, everything's smaller, you know, and she was like bound and determined
Yeah.
to push it out. So there was no like pushing back in. There was no repositioning. Like that was difficult. But yeah, I could see how like in all the past ones I've been like, it's okay. Da, da, da. And then this one I'm like, get Dr. Matthew here right now.
You're like, where is he?
So there's been a lot of questions about like, oh, were you shocked by how like tiny Coco's baby was?
We forget. I found Jack.
She did. I wasn't even here, and she found Jack. Yeah. So this is not her first mini baby.
But we do think that this baby is a little bit smaller than Jack.
I don't know. I mean, is he? I just think I forget how tiny they are.
But do you remember watching me and Eliza on the camera trying to push him out of the pasture?
Yeah, and I was like, pick him up.
Exactly.
Don't
we
do that.
we struggled to pick him up. This one, you just pick him up lightly.
I will say it feels like nothing. Like you just pick him up. So yeah, this was her second mini baby.
It's still shocking how small it is, truly.
Someone's like, Lindsay would probably rather be on Foal Watch rather than deleting comments from last night's live. Poor Lindsay, but she did an amazing job. That's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong. She thrives in that chat.
She would rather be in those
at
comments.
least 3 hours sitting on the couch downstairs, just scrolling,
and
deleting,
I kept saying,
blocking.
Please vouch for me.
Yeah.
That I kept saying, get out of the chat.
Yeah.
She's like, get out of the
100%.
chat.
Eat food.
Hey, are you hungry? Here's some food. Like, go eat some food. Get out of the chat.
She told me to stop, and I got to the kitchen and was grabbing my food. I said, "Is it okay I stop with the comments?" She's like, "I literally told you to do that."
This was Lindsay for 3 hours straight. She would lay on the couch and she would go like this. You wouldn't even be looking at her. You would just hear.
People are funny. I was trolling too. Everyone was big on the where's
Because all
Karen
I
and
said was, I was
Coco.
like, just go manage the people that are being nasty and like whatever. If you don't
Yeah.
mind, take an hour to go do some blocking while we're posting and getting all this footage uploaded and everything.
No, that's my job. now.
And she takes that very seriously. So I promise you, she is thriving
Keyboard warrior.
in the comment section actually, because all the time when we're playing Dungeons and Dragons and we have it on live, we're like, Cassia,
pay attention.
it's your turn, because she's just
I'm
like
sorry.
Yeah, I won't be doing that while we play D&D, guys. Again, sorry. I have to stay focused.
on the chat.
I have to stay focused.
Yeah, we have a big event coming up.
Yeah.
Renee says, I just want to thank you for the great job you do on Snapchat.
Thank you. I try my best. I try my best to get everything like that Katie's not necessarily filming, because like she
What it's
films her own TikToks and stuff, and so I do my best to get like the fun stuff and me and Rachel, crack jokes all the time, and she sniffs the camera like a horse and whatever. So I try to make it funny, but also still entertaining and like enjoyable to watch.
That's what you're missing on Snapchat if you're
Yeah.
not on there.
Rachel
oh my
sniffing.
gosh. Okay, what's been your favorite foal so far?
I think Bobby.
You think Bobby?
She is adorable. Her pink nose immediately captured my heart when I saw it. Like she came out and I was like, "Your pink nose."
I don't think I can say a favorite.
I don't think
them all.
you're connected to all of them, dude.
Woody's,
My
That's
favorite's the first one.
Wally,
Moosey. Wow. Moosifer.
I like Moose.
you like Moose?
Cutie.
Moose is cool.
I feel like
he's
he's
big
gonna
boy.
be chaotic as all get out.
He already is.
is.
He just
but-
has so much spice about him already.
We don't really know Coco's baby.
Yeah.
At this point, he's like, he's just a little peanut. We don't know him yet.
Yeah.
No.
He don't know him yet.
He don't know him yet. He just meanders around. He hasn't really figured things out yet.
He's fast though.
Other than the chance of it going wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So take out like tragedy.
Okay.
What's been your least favorite part of foaling season so far?
Honestly, that 2 a.m. wake up call.
For Ricky, no one liked that. That
No.
was so unexpected and panicky.
We had literally fallen asleep, 30 minutes, an hour earlier? I was literally in the
I
middle
think
of
only about an
turning.
hour earlier. And so we were in like peak REM sleep.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
was turning over to go back into my deep sleep. And you were like, Fuller! And I'm like, ah.
So the way that the shop is, and I've been watching the cameras downstairs and doing the live, and like, okay, when you're like, everyone is under the impression that I like pay people to sit there and watch the live and swap back and forth on cameras.
No. She's doing it.
That is me. And so I'm down there, and then Buck was like in one of the bunk beds on the landing. So he was like in earshot. He wasn't in a room. And then Nate and Matt were both in a room.
Mm-hmm.
I get the Foal alert call, and Buck said that he woke up from the Foal alert, like my phone being called. He said it took me about 10 seconds to like
Come to.
figure it out and like see what it was. And then I literally was like, Foal alert! I start yelling as I'm getting up to wake everybody up because I don't have time to run up the stairs and go knock on
Yeah.
doors and stuff. I'm putting clothes on, and I will stand behind it. So I will say, when we go like out and I'm getting ready and I'm taking I'll take a long time to get ready, and I'm maybe a little late. Okay. But in normal day-to-day circumstances, I can jump and run so much better than like my husband.
Yeah.
Or like I'm like, oh, I woke up, I can go right now.
Yeah.
And I'm good. I'm like going. Women can do that. Men are like, what?
What?
Oh,
Okay.
but, and then they're like, let me just go get this. It's like, no, get up, go faster,
Right now.
go faster. I left y'all.
There's no
That's the
sense
thing.
of urgency.
Me and Lindsay left them, and that's why like they got down there minutes later, and I was already back there helping, and then they mosey in.
Well, we had to gather our equipment.
Should have been gathered.
Right.
Should have been gathered.
We had to be loaded.
Should have been loaded.
It should have been on in the
Should have
car.
prepared. Yeah.
So anyway, I will just stand behind that women can like jump and run, and maybe it's our like innate
Is it like an instinct?
instincts of like, you know how they say women are light sleepers because like to hear the baby cry or whatever. I don't know. Maybe that's why. Like we can, you know, you know how it's I feel like I've heard multiple people agree that when you wake a mom up in the middle of the night, it's never like a peaceful thing. It's always like like
What's
everything's
wrong?
an emergency. It's like we wake up ready to like
Yeah.
to like fight
Yeah.
or like an emergency. So
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, I don't usually wake up like that.
Were you just
Jonathan, he will not. Oh my gosh, it is my ick for my husband. My biggest ick for like Jonathan is he will not wake up. Like he'll say, "Oh, I'm just gonna take a nap."
No.
Brother, what are we doing? Like, get up, brother.
We have no time.
But I will say for the Foal alerts, nah, he was
He was on
He's
it.
up.
he was ready. But like if we just take like a little nap on a Saturday, and I'm like, hey, the condition of this nap is that we are getting up and then going and doing these couple of things before it gets dark.
Like that one day.
That is not a one-time thing. Like that is every nap he has ever taken.
Oh no.
So, yeah. But yeah, we're hanging in there. We're all tired. We have one more full. We have one more full. Charlotte is a day overdue right now. And let me just preface, because people freak out. When I say overdue, that means it's over her due date. I'm not saying she's in an emergency state where she needs to have it. Like if she's still cooking, she's still cooking. It's fine. It's like women. There's like a range.
Yeah, she could
That's
cook
healthy.
another
She's
week and
fine.
a half, probably.
Okay, I'm just saying she's now a day over her due date.
Don't
chill
speak that
out.
into existence.
Good.
Anyway,
It'd be fine.
I want to go to Texas next week, so I really want her to have it. Anyway, we still have one more, and then we have a little break, and then Lexi, and then a little break, and then 4 more. And then a little break, and then the minis. So anyway, we are...
And then we start next year.
Perfect.
And that takes us through December.
And then breeding gets...
And then we
breeding
start
starts,
again.
And then calving.
We're good. We're going to continue on. I think we've kind of committed to full watch for Charlotte until it happens, just because it's like at this point, if we take a night off and she has it, it's like...
That'd be a letdown.
All is lost.
Big sunk cost fallacy here.
Yeah. So I think we've committed. We're going to try to do a little more Dungeons and Dragons on live. So if you haven't checked in, we've been doing live pretty much every night. And sometimes we're on there talking. Sometimes we are just having it on the camera and y'all just see us checking on everybody. And it is fun now that there are some babies. You know, they get up, they romp around, they eat, they do some funny stuff. So that's been pretty much every night. And it's just been a blessing that everyone's safe and alive. And it's not been the easiest of the foalings, but we're trucking along. So I'm glad that you're hanging in there.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
In your first foaling season. I'm glad you're hanging in there through all of the tech crisis.
Yeah, we're in there.
Matt has dipped. He's no longer with us. He quit. So that's why he's not here today. I'm just kidding. He's fine. It's just like there are other things that have to be done during the day. And so because of all of the crisis, like everyone is having to do a job now. Like everyone's having to be places doing things.
Yeah.
So hope y'all enjoyed today's little catch up. I know we didn't give that much away about each of the birds. We might talk later, but we just haven't posted them yet, so I don't really want to give away all the details. So watch those as they come along, and we'll see you in the next one.